Zorab. Zorab usually brought us his poodles for minimum services. Only the mandatory vaccination, shaved and ear treatment, and similar minor things. He is a type of person with a strong Eastern tradition of bargaining. Whatever charge he would get from us, he would whine that it was impossibly overpriced. There are a lot of informational materials, advertisement for vet insurance, brochures about flea prevention supplements, and city regulations regarding pet care in our waiting room. Every time Zorab is in our office, he asks if he can take them home. Yes, may take them. They are free of charge. May I take 2 of each? Zorab asks. You can. He takes 3 of each. How much does it cost? So much. It's impossible. I can pay half of the price. I found a solution for him. We gave him the maximum price for anything he wants. Then, after several rounds of disputes, we slightly reduced the price. Then I tell him, go to hell, we don't want you as a customer. After this, he is fully satisfied. He thinks he has bargained well until the lowest point. He pays the price that we would have otherwise charged him from the very beginning, and he leaves our office feeling like a winner. Which dog is whose? This incident was strictly the opposite of previous one. The same day, the 2 cockers with the same butt color but belonging to different owners came in for a grooming. When the job was done, the first owner arrived and took a dog. Everything satisfied him. He tipped the groomer and went home. Shortly thereafter, the second owner came and picked up this other cocker. She likes the haircut. The next morning, we got a call. You know, I was in your office earlier with my dog Dina. Today, when I went to walk her, I realized it was not Dina at all. The longer lifted her leg to urinate, and I can discover it was he. How that could be? I could only imagine one explanation from this metamorphosis. The 2 cockers had been switched after a couple of hours of grooming. These dogs were happy to go out with anybody. They didn't care who took their leashes, and end up going with a stranger to unfamiliar homes. We called the other cocker owner and asked him to bring Max, who was actually Dina, back to us, and assured the owners in retrieving their dogs. Sure, they had the same color and the same breed, but how could these owners confuse their own dog from somebody else? I still don't understand this, especially since one of them was male and the other was female. There are millions of little details that makes your fully family member so special, so distinguished from anyone else. It's like mixing up your wife with another woman just because they are both blondes and dress similarly. The top business rescue woman. Julia never visits our office, and you'll see why. I never even saw her personally, but my son told me about her. She's a pretty young woman in her late 20s. She presents herself as a big fan of pets. As I heard from those who met Julia, she spent her days in her bedroom and her nights in numerous clubs and bars. As soon as she hears any news about abandoned dog or sick stray cat, she makes a short trip to the location, takes a picture, and returns to her bedroom, where she posts a heartfelt story with a picture of the poor animal on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media outlets. Her talent is to make people cry about the sad fortune of those pets and collect huge amount of money from naive people. No boarding expenses, no veterinary bills, no wasting time, nothing. The money she spends at the clubs. I have to mention this despicable person here, but I don't want to give her any more space. This is not my dog. A middle-aged black woman brought her Lisa Upso for grooming. The dog was dirty and matted. The woman asked to shave her dog down. We did. When the woman came back to pick up her dog, she did not recognize it. "This is not my dog," she cried. The dog showed her love to the owner with all its heart, but the woman insisted that it was not her baby. To convince her that this is indeed her dog took us more than time that it had taken to groom her dog. Brief tales of stupidity, misunderstanding and confusion. Miracles in oncology healing. A client X brought a small dog to the vet. The client said the breed was Shih Tzu, but there is no sign of the bred, just a cloud of dirty, muddly hair that dreaded together in one piece. The complaints were the big mass of butt, deafness, and unruly behavior. The test showed that the mass was just a solid mat. Deafness was caused by plugging air and wax in both ear canals. And aggression was due to the hair painfully stuck together from various parts of the body. The treatment: a shave and a wash. This so-called mass fell down to the floor with a sound like loud it had been made from the stone. As soon as dirty coat was removed, it could be referred as external mass removed. The dog became more and more friendly. We didn't even need to muzzle to finish the job. Souvenirs. One can only imagine that souvenir pets owners might request after their dog or cat was treated by a veterinarian. If I had no relationship to this business, I would never guess. The veterinarian provided dental cleaning and had to extract a couple of teeth. The owner wanted to keep those extracted teeth. Okay, the owner paid for this work and it's his property. But what he/she will do with those eroded teeth? We provided a standard narrow procedure for mixed breed male dog. The owner asked us to return the removed testicles. We put the balls in the jar. That preservation solution gave it to him. What will the owner do with them? Put them on his cupboard and keep them just in case? Or for what case? We saved the life of a cat with an expensive surgery operating due to pyometria, uterus inflammation. The cat is fine. The owner paid his bill and asked for removed uterus. Why? Well, a neighbor, the owner of an old pit bull, came home and found his dog dead. He ran to the clinic for cremation service, but he demanded to take a canine tooth for his memory. To do dental work on a dead dog is unpleasant work. It was done at the owner's demand. A few days later, I met the guy on the street and he showed me a pendant on his neck. The canine from the beloved dog was embedded into gold, so the dog could always be with him. There would be a few good things if bad things did not have happened. It was our mistake, no excuses. We did a bad thing. Instead of brushing the Persian cat, our groomer shaved it. He did the perfect line cut for this cat, but anyway the owner was really disappointed. She cried truly bitter tears. Of course we did not charge her and even gave her a credit, but she was still very angry. We swore that the hair would get back in several weeks, but she was insoluble. With all our will, we could not put the shaved hair back. A few months later, the same woman came to our office and I expected a bad conversation. No, she came in to thank us for a good idea. Now her cat not lick its long hair and the problem of hairballs has vanished. Also, her clothes were now cleaner and the life of the cat more comfortable. For sure, long hair on the cat is a result of human caprice, and keeping the coat in good shape is a difficult task for Persians, especially due to their rounded faces. Because after, maybe because of mistakes in education, and maybe because of just human nature, it sometimes occurs that after the effect, people tend to pin the event as the cause of it. For some reason, nobody thinks there is a reasonable, casual relationship between yesterday's TV program and today's flea infestation in her dog. But to say that the flea had appeared on the dog a week after a visit to the grooming salon where we fight with fleas with professional strength, where the fault of grooming salon is perfectly logical. The owner will not take into account that since the grooming visit his dog has walked on streets, played in the play park, and met other animals in the neighborhood. He won't recall he forgot to take any anti-flea measures in his particular summer months, and will insist until the last minute that it's the groomer's fault. And this is not always an attempt to save some money. Usually, it's a sincere belief that anything that happened after the event happened because of it. And all dogs start limping as it is because the vet technician did something wrong while vaccinating it 3 days prior. The cat stopped eating, it must be because the groomer put soap in his mouth. A cat got an ear infection 3 days after our vaccination. Well, it certainly occurs because of the vaccination, and the doctor should take care of this problem as the follow-up for free because it's his fault. Logic is clearly not our customer's strong suit. Age is not enough reason to die. Females have harder than males do. Reproduction is hard work. Even when after reproduction pass, females carry additional risk. Half an hour before closing, we get a phone call. A client wanted a home visit to euthanize his 15-year-old out there year, sad by the natural demand. It was 10 minutes ride to get there, and the procedure was only supposed to take a few minutes. Indeed, when the doctor came to the client home, he found a lethargic, deeply dehydrated, skinny dog lying on his bed. Only his breathing showed that she was still alive. He also saw a lot of pus and a towel surrounding the dog's vagina. The diagnosis was obvious: PMH, inflation of the uterus. "Why don't you bring your dog earlier?" asked the doctor. "She could have been saved." We figured it was just her age. Age is not a diagnosis. Nobody dies because of age. It's only disease, trauma, or abnormalities that can cause death. Even now we can try to save your cat. Oh, we would be glad to do so, please. The dog was brought to the hospital. The doctor and his assistant stayed a couple of hours later to perform surgery and to supervise the recovery. The recovery was not easy, but the 14-year-old Ardell was good. A few days later, the owner and the Ardell visited the doctor with flowers. 10 months later, the dog passed away peacefully in her home from a heart attack, but she got nearly another year added to her life, and the owner were thankful for the miracle that had prolonged the life of the family member.